Hello and welcome everybody, and welcome back to another community displays video where I showcase displays made by you guys and everybody else in the community that I want to showcase. I also throw in a display that I make on my own featuring the DC figures and a checkup on my Transformers display. So if any of that interests you guys, make sure you stick around and watch, and we'll go through it all as it progresses. I do also want to note one final thing before the video begins, that I will be doing a face reveal at 4,500 subs. So let's get that milestone, and I'll be introducing the real me, the real Walpin Web Snappers to you guys. So big things coming. Let's get into it.
Okay, we're going to start out with a submission from Jackson Studios, and he's also on TikTok as well. And right out the gate, we got a super good, well put together Defenders display. And I love what he did with the Ghost Rider. I really want that Ghost Rider with the motorcycle to do exactly that. He's got a great setup. Although you're missing Spider-Man right there. If you switched out Scarlet Spider, you got me sold as a perfect group. Also, you need Moon Knight. But anyway, the Thunderbolts here is in the back, the red version, and then great Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 3-pack. Posing's great there. And here's his Avengers setup, and it looks great. Really well done. The posing is wonderful. Yeah, I like that Black Panther pose a lot right there. Seriously, everyone's really, like, it looks like you spent time on every pose, and that's saying something, because there's a lot of figures here. Seriously, well done. I mean, you took your time on everything, and I gotta say, people gotta do that more. Take your time on every pose. It will show. Yeah, man, that Hulk looks great in that pose too. I like how you got people flying outwards. I really don't have a lot of critiques. It's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of characters here. It's a great Marvel poster. I guess you do got duplicates in your display. I don't know how you feel about that, but I mean, for me personally, I don't like the duplicates, but you still pose them well, right? They look good. Great job with the Fantastic Four too. A nice classic Guardians display, and a great job emulating the bow and arrow pose with Yondu. Yeah, you got everything spread out. I don't feel like anybody's like being covered up, even though you got a lot of figures. We also got an X-Men display from him, and wow, I really like how you still managed, even though you got a lot there, everyone's still doing something rather dynamic, especially Gambit. I love that. You got all these rows and effects. When I say effects, I'm really looking at Nightcrawler. That looked super sick. But yeah, posing's on point. Your placement's on point. Seriously, it just looks alive. And it's like those old posters, Marvel character posters from the 2000s. Seriously, way to go with that. That group there. I'm not very familiar with the X-Men, so I don't know. Is that the New Mutants? Or no, it's not New Mutants. I don't know, but that looked equally good. And the only thing I would say is if you could separate your teams and groups a little bit more defined, that would help visually. But I mean, it's a style. This not wrong, right? Like, this doesn't look bad. It's just, for me personally, I would separate just a little bit more to let each group breathe a little bit better. But seriously, I like how a lot of times with this kind of style, you see people not posing their figures. Rather, they're just stood up on like tiered shelves, but rather you got them flying out on flight stands. It still looks explosive and alive. So seriously, this was a joy to watch, and thank you for your submission. Hopefully those who are watching are also really inspired by this one too. He also provided another display, which was featuring another fire escape, and it looks cool. It's another street level kind of setup, similar to something I actually had. Man, Iron Fist and Luke Cage looks super sick there with all the hands. They're like busting out of a group of ninja hands. Maximum Spidey's looking sick there. Yeah, that looks great. Way to army build those hand ninjas. And he's got Punisher, point blank shooting a hand ninja. Mafex Daredevil there at the top. Looking super sick, man. Well done. Now, he also gave us a look at his, I want to call it Masters of Evil / Villains display. And I slowed this clip down, so if it looks a little goofy, that's why. But again, we see some really great posing, explosive liveliness, aesthetics, and I mean, there's nothing more to say. The talent carries over.
Displays come from Spider Slayer 2099.
And he put together a very nice display, especially I can tell how small the area he had to work with. And I got to say, it didn't inhibit any of the motion or the action that he was trying to convey. And it looks great, man. Seriously. And this is hard to do, especially with the confinement of the space that you're in. Now, my one critique that it wasn't enough to go full on out with a editor, but I might just suggest that Iron Man face more towards the front a little bit, or more. So just so you're not seeing his backside, because he's such a main character for the display. I feel like main characters, you want to see their logo and their front side, like the main view of the character. So that would just be one change. And then the other one would just be to tilt maybe Scarlet Witch a little bit more towards the front so you can see her a little bit more. So you're not just looking at the backside of the character. But other than that, man, great work. Very impressive, especially with the space that you're working with.
This next submission comes from Alan VRSW27. Another great assortment of legends being posed really well, utilizing the accessories. It's just a very colorful shelf. One of the things I just love about the Marvel Legends line. And of course, he has another assortment down there with his Spider-Verse. I don't know what that Galactus is in the back. That looked really sick. All right, so as I'm recording this, I've come pretty under the weather, so apologize for the nastiness in my voice, but this next display comes from Cone's Displays. I think I'm saying that right. Anyway, he's bringing us another beautiful Marvel poster style display. I absolutely love how he's got Wasp shooting out of Giant Man's hand. He's holding a destroyed Ultron in his hand. He's got Doctor Strange flying out, looks sick. Moon Knight looks awesome. I mean, there's just people are moving. It looks alive, and he's got just all the heavy hitters, the A-listers. Yeah, again, it's just a perfect representation of the Marvel Universe. Just looks good. There's nothing more. It's eye candy, And he's got the Guardians of the Galaxy representation up there on the shelf, which having the Ghost Rider driving on the wall looks super sick. Awesome job. This next display comes from the Plastic Surgeon on YouTube, where he stated to me in a DM that he aims to be like me when it comes to doing displays, but for DC. So he gave us a chance to glimpse into his DC display collection, and it's a nice it serves as a nice checklist for me. But here's where I think he does really cool. He's divided up his little sections with the rogues for each character, and it looks so cool. I love seeing the rogues broken down by each hero. You know what they say, a hero is only as good as his villains. All right, and this next submission comes from Nilo Gnat. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but he's also on TikTok, and he sent a really cool warlike clashing of the Titans vibe display. It looks like he's got some Mafex Magneto in there. So again, we got a mixture of Marvel Legends and Mafex, and it looks like a big comic book cover. It just looks sweet, very intense vibes with this. And I think he's even got some lighting in there too, which any display with, lighting effects just really takes it to another level. Yeah, man, looks sick. We're going to end this section of the video with a submission from one of my favorite displayers and Instagram pages in the community, Nico's Toy Room. I hopefully will continue to showcase his stuff in my videos, but if you don't know him already, I'd be surprised. His displays are iconic within the Instagram community. I found him even on TikTok. So hopefully he continues to submit stuff, because I really got to put y'all onto this. It's very different from mine, but I love it. He doesn't shy away from doing custom effects, accessories. He really knows how to capture the vibe of the era that he's displaying, and there's just so much to each display that he has. You can look at it and really appreciate something new every time you go to sit down and look, and he just manages to really capture a very lively space. With the what I really find impressive is how he manages to get the the bottom of each. Like it looks like there's debris. They're standing on something that's not just a plain glass. And he's got characters flying. These are tight spaces. As I don't typically do displays in DTOFs because I feel like the space is cramped and limited, but here's this guy killing it. And yeah, he's inspired me for my eras as well, especially with the Hickman stuff. I used his work as a template for me, but he's showing off the X-Men stuff here, so I won't derail the conversation. Like I said, it's just eye candy. It's awesome, and I hope to share more of this stuff with you guys.
So we got a broken DC display here that I've wanted to fix for quite some time. Things have fallen. Like I think my Aquaman crashed and burned and took Shazam out with him. And it just needs redone. It's been this way for a long time, and I think I can make it better. So I'm gonna start taking these figures off, placing them right there, and we're gonna repose them, throw them up there, and make a new DC display. Let's get into it.
Now, before we do anything, I found an old video that I had of this display, so I wanted to show you guys a little before and after clip. So here's the before. Things fell, and I just decided to rearrange it. This was probably my first DC display. So I was pretty happy with how it turned out, but it was time to move on and try something new, of course.
Okay, so another one thing that I was contemplating when I was going to redo this display is which Batman do I want to use? I've always used this Batman, but I'm sort of leaning towards wanting to go with the brighter colors to kind of fit the vibe of my kind of the Marvel stuff, right? Like it's the bright comic book characters, and so I'm thinking I kind of want to go this route and hopefully slowly replace each Justice League member with a brighter comic book colored counterpart as they come out. Maybe this guy will match Superman a little bit better too. So I think I'm gonna try and use this guy moving forward and put him on a different shelf. Yeah, so needless to say, these will be the big three of the display. The Cap, Iron Man, Thor, like Trinity, that the display will be built around. So, yeah, we'll be starting with these guys. Hopefully we'll get a nice solid foundation starting with them, and we'll be able to build on from there.
I really can't emphasize how important it is to have that really good foundation for a display. I think if you don't have a really strong foundation where it's dynamic enough yet solid enough, it needs to be just a very well-rounded base that you're going to put your figures around, right? In this case, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are the three core characters that your eyes will go to every time, and then you'll go around and look. You really got to make sure that you set it up right and you just have a strong start.
Okay. Trying this. I don't know how I feel about it, just because this takes up a lot of space and he's going to be in the front, so he's covering up almost anybody from here, boom, there. While I love this, I don't know if it's really feasible. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to work because he's just taking up way too much room. But yeah, he looks sick though. Wish I could do that, but we're gonna have to try something else. So just threw Wonder Woman up in a more grounded pose. I like the way I got her little rope. I'm trying to get more figures on the ground. I feel like my last one didn't do so well with that. And Superman just might be too tall for such a front pivotal character, so we might have to find a shorter stand. And I still don't know what I'm doing with Batman, but he's easy to pose, so he's probably gonna be somewhere right here. All right, so I think I'm gonna not go with this approach with him just standing straight up. And I'll probably end up having to work on some more poses for him, but I took some figures to my office and came up with this pose for Wonder Woman.
I like that. So she's gonna be running out with her lasso of truth. I think that looks sick. I also worked on an Aquaman pose. I'm not doing the shark this time. I think it just created a lot of extra gappage and made the display a little bit messier. Looked cool, but yeah, I like this pose for Aquaman. So let's get them up on some stands. Cool, so I did a complete 180 with the pose. I guess it's not a complete 180, but you know what I mean. Changed it up completely. Gotta fix her head maybe a little bit, but from this angle she looks good. And we got Soup's new pose. Aquaman's up, and I wanted to put him right here, but he's way too tall, and back there you can't tell he's not in scale. Another thing to note, I had no idea, Aquaman is huge compared to Superman and Wonder Woman. Of course, Revoltex are a little thinner proportionally compared to like Mafex and Marvel Legends. This guy is huge, just beefy. I was like, I don't know if that's right, but that's where we're at so far. Obviously, Batman's gonna be somewhere right here. Next, I think I'm gonna try and get Shazam up somewhere right here to kind of mirror Aquaman. So let's see how that goes. All right, so we got Shazam up. I wanted a few more standing characters. So it's like they're kind of floating in the back, and then your core, like 7, are the ones leaping out. Kind of like they're like supporting. So it looks good. And I like how slowly but surely you're not able to see the blocks that he's standing on. So again, it looks like he's just floating back there. I really want to work on Flash, but he's gonna take I need a day of posing him to work out some different stuff. And I'm wondering, I feel like Nightwing is a good character, even though y'all can tell me how wrong I am for this, but yeah. I don't know really about that. I don't know if we can roll like that or not. I probably will take him out because I just don't feel confident about having him there, but where else would he go? Anyway, we'll leave him there for now. All right, so we got Batman up in a very similar pose, I guess, to my other one. I don't know if this is what I want to stick with. I do think I'm going to end up having to raise Superman up just a little so Batman isn't so scrunched, but moved Aquaman up a little bit. I don't know if we're going to stick with that Wonder Woman pose, but Flash is looking good. Shazam's looking cool. You guys in the back are nice supporting. Looks good. Maybe I'll put Nightwing where Wonder Woman is, and no, because I don't think Nightwing went with this Batman, so I don't want to do that. So I was thinking maybe it would look good to have Wonder Woman right here. Then I'm thinking, who goes right there? Guess for now I'll leave her until I can think of something else. But yeah, anyway, it's starting to look good. At least this half looks real nice to me. Obviously this half needs a little bit of work. So we'll see. We'll keep working on it. Okay, so switched his pose out. Instead of having him standing straight up, had him flying outwards to kind of mirror that of Aquaman. Turn Flash towards kind of running out. And I'm still thinking of raising Superman up just a little bit. But yeah, that looks a little bit cleaner already. I don't love Batman's pose. I think I might just have him crouching in a battle ready stance. Yeah, I think that would be a little bit cooler and just look a little bit better for this display and have him facing forward. But yeah, looking good. I feel like the spacing's a little bit better. Man, I'd love some really good figures for this display. Definitely in need of quite a few, like Martian Manhunter. I would love that. Zatara, and obviously real versions of Green Arrow and Hawkman and Green Lantern, but we're making do with what we got right now. Yeah, these are what we're left with. This crummy Green Lantern and a really good Nightwing figure that really just doesn't have much of a place in this display, I feel like. Especially with that Batman. Anyway. Okay. So it turns out we are reusing the Batman pose from my last, from the one that I used for the Hush for my last display. And the funny thing was, as I was making this, I was like, oh, this one's really good. I didn't know why I didn't think of this earlier. And I'd completely forgotten that this was the pose that I had my other Batman in. So I guess needless to say, I really like it. So, yep. And so we're kind of coming to a close now. I wish I had someone to put right here. Nightwing isn't going to be making it onto this shelf. And neither is the other Green Lantern figure. So, I think that's going to cut this portion of the video up. I'm kind of set, I guess. I think it looks better. I'm going to show some clips out of what I had before, so you can kind of see what I did. So yeah, we'll compare them. Ultimately, I think it was a little bit busy for my initial display, and my new one's a little bit more clean, a little bit less chaotic, if you will. It kind of looks like my other displays a bit more. All right, I know I get a lot of requests to see what's going on with my Transformers display and collection. And right now, we got the Autobots up here. This is from AliExpress. That's a KO. This is Fans Toys, pretty expensive jazz. This is a KO Bumblebee. This is the DGX Red Storm KO, and this is Light of Peace, all masterpiece scale. So I was waiting when I started collecting these earlier this year. If you like in January and February, I was buying them, and towards the end of December. Fans Toys was supposed to release a Ratchet and Ironhide, so I would like to get them as well. I feel like, kind of other than that, you know, kind of getting the 07 crew, maybe it's 08 from the movie, and have them in their G1 form. So, and then we got Megatron, Starscream. No, why did I say Starscream? Soundwave. That's a KO. That's a KO. This is something else. I forget exactly what I bought for this, but he's really good. He looks a lot like the Fans Toys. Come on, focus there. So those are the Transformers. I try to keep Optimus Prime in his movie pose because that's like the most iconic Optimus Prime pose. I try to do something agile with Jazz, but come on, they're blocky characters. It's gonna be a little tough to pose them up. But anyway, Yeah, I know I get a lot of requests about showing this. I figured I'd attach it to this video. So that's going to wrap this video up, guys. Thank you so much for watching as always. It's always amazing to see the support. Hopefully you guys appreciate seeing other people's collections as well and their displays and how people are being artistic and creative in their own ways and really bringing this hobby to life. We're not just buying toys. We're making art, 3D art, bringing comic books to life. You guys are killing it. I love doing these and spotlighting people's collections. But yeah, we got some big things coming. Like I said, we're going to do a whole face reveal and kind of do a whole series, kind of getting to know who I am and introducing myself to you guys, and hopefully kind of change the type of content I start making. So I'm kind of excited and nervous about that. But in the meantime, we're going to keep building our displays and doing cool stuff with our toys. And I'll see you guys in the next video.